glad. Really, it's always an honor and a privilege, for KTN to invite us as leaders to be hosted by this show. And while I was away, actually, many people were calling me and saying, we are not seeing you on the show.
What is happening?
We used to see you from NTV, AM Live, KTN News, where are you? And I told them, no, I'm just taking a small break. I'll be back soon. So it's really nice to be back on air on KTN, to join my colleagues on the show and commend them. I've been watching the show and they have been doing great, contributing on real issues that affect Kenyans. And for you, it's good to know that these shows are a very huge fan base. There are many people who watch the show. So I think KTN is also doing a great contribution in informing the nation what's happening and giving a platform to our leaders from the two political divides to come here and have a discourse on issues that are of interest to the people that we represent. So I'm really happy to be back.
I think we should close the show now. Let's leave it at that. That's good news. Good, of course, comment from me. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Dan Maanzo, also for the senator, I was a bit having some fears and trepidation, even for the deputy majority leader, if you will be a show today, because of a devolution conference. But I understand most of you also are heading there after the show. Dan Maanzo.
Yes, well, unfortunately, I'm not going there immediately. I'm going to Makueni.
Oh, you have
Remember,
to go back to
there's a young man who was shot dead in Mali during the demonstrations, and he's being laid to rest today.
Okay.
Yeah, the police had claimed that we had hired bodies, so we are burying a real person today. And we want to go and condole with this family. It has been having challenges. This was a young man who had just qualified to go to university to study. He was expected to have reported in September, but unfortunately he was caught up in the chaos, having been sent by his mother to the market. He never actually left his house. He was shot there while his mother watched.
While his mother watched.
Yes, and I think it's been very, very difficult for that particular family. There was dispute as to where he could be buried, so the leadership of Makueni got together and got a piece of land somewhere, and we are sadly laying a young man to rest today. It should never have happened. I still insist that for every single death in all these processes, we need to have an inquest. Done by a magistrate, so that everybody can speak the evidence they know about who did what. Even doing his postmortem was such a big challenge. For the first time in life, in my 20 years of practice, we were told the family has to get permission from the DCI. You know when you are conducting postmortem, there is a form, there is a medical doctor, from the government. There is this time a poor came, and it has been unnecessary for the government to take such a family and such a mother through such a difficult time when they have a son who has been slain, to death. So the perpetrators of these killings, each one of them must be brought to book by the law, because the law is very clear. If there is evidence against you, there's no need for the police Inspector General to protect you or to shield you while you are really a criminal in the police force. I believe there are very many good police officers. There are many people whose judgment is clear. But unfortunately, in these killings, there were people who were determined. There were police officers who had a political mind and were determined to crush what was perceived to be political opponent. And I think politics should not be brought into police professionalism. Police is independent and should judge everybody, fairly, and no one is allowed by the law to execute another. That cannot happen at all, and we are going to be following up to make sure there is inquest on all the deaths which took place in Makueni. There was another young man also innocently shot by a prison warder. It's a high time. The IG
within the prisons of the prison, or
no. The prison warders had come into town to help.
To help with the
with the peaceful demonstrations, and I can assure police IG that and if you don't disrupt Kenyans are very peaceful. If you don't bother them, they will not bother you. They will not steal anybody's thing. They will not use a stone. They will not harm themselves. Article that 7 is very clear. Peaceful demonstrations can happen in this country if they are not interrupted. And it is very, very unfortunate that people have to lose their lives on such a thing. I think it's a high time. From the statements we have heard him issue, he looked at the issue. I think he's been misled in a big way. And the people who have misled a person in authority have committed an offense. And they should all be charged in a court of law for giving the Inspector General misleading information. These deaths are real. There are no hired bodies. And they're very sad and very unfortunate to the country.
So the Inspector General was misled?
He was misled, and that's whoever misled him committed a criminal offense. He should be the first one to instruct him to be charged.
So what is happening with the pursuit also of the ICC on still the same case? We've had Karim Khan, who is the prosecutor, recusing himself from anything that is involving Kenyan cases at the ICC.
You see, having represented Kenyans when he was a lawyer, and now having become the prosecutor of ICC, there is conflict of interest. He cannot handle any of the Kenyan cases. So in the event, because I'm sure we have met the threshold for international crimes against humanity, a different prosecutor has to be found to deal with the Kenyan cases. We are going to pursue these cases because you can see there is no goodwill at all in Kenya. The judiciary, unfortunately, has been frustrated, cajoled, intimidated, and you know, their personal security.
You can hear those adjectives.
Threatened. Their personal security threatened. So, and then Parliament, the National Assembly and Senate have become a rubber stamp of the executive. So we have only one ruler, two rulers in Kenya, the president and the deputy. Everybody else, including Owen Baya, is quietened and can only sing the song of Gusto.
Let's hear